Now we say Gary Lewis, you know, at one time this man did live in the Cleveland area. What years was those, Gary?
I lived here in Aurora from 1988 to 96.
See, so when you say Cleveland Zone, there's a reason behind that. You know, it's amazing that your group, the songs that they recorded and the hits that they had, like 1965, when I mentioned it earlier tonight, it was amazing. Your dad hosting the Grammys, and that was your year. I mean, all those songs. And the people that he had working with him, like Leon Russell, arranging things, and Snuff Garrett. For those of you who do not know, a very, very talented man that worked at Liberty Records. And, well, you know, share some of the memories about some of these people that individuals don't know that bought your records, who some of these great musicians that worked with you on those sessions.
Well, I'm sure everybody knows of Leon Russell. I mean, before he got his own career, yeah, sure. Before he had his own career, he was my arranger, and he was co-producing myself with our producer, Snuffy Garrett. And we had wonderful, wonderful people working as far as arrangers and people that would come in and overdub certain parts that we just couldn't do at 19, you know. So we had just a wonderful whole bunch of people to put everything together. And not only did our producer know how to pick hit songs, but he also knew when to put them out. Like if the Beatles were climbing real fast, of course we wouldn't put a record out quite right at the same time, you know. So he was very brilliant.
You know, Gary, there's one thing maybe you do know or maybe you do not know. This man went into the military. If memory serves me, it might have been January 1st, 1967. Was that the date you entered the military?
That was my first day, yes.
You know, it's amazing. Way back in the 1940s and even part of the 50s, some performers, in fact, a lot of performers went into the military, but then later on, that was a very rare. I know Don and Phil, the Everly Brothers, spent some time in the military, but here Gary Lewis was one of our own in the military, and that was terrific. Now, Gary, we're doing this thing for PBS. I've asked everyone else about this tonight. Very, very special evening, and PBS is really keeping this music alive. I'd like to get your response about what's taking place here in Cleveland tonight for PBS and you being a part of it.
Well, I want to thank PBS for getting all of us together, because over the years I've toured with these guys and played with them every decade, 70s, 80s, 90s, but never all of us together. And it's been a wonderful experience backstage with memories and storytelling and just having a wonderful time, and definitely bringing back all those memories for all of you.
And I also want to remind you, in chatting here with Gary, we still have one more act and a big finale that we're going to be doing, so just hang in there. Now, the interesting thing a lot of people want to know, we all know about the success that your dad has been and the legend he has been in the industry, and when you went to your father and he heard this diamond ring, what was his reaction to you and to see that this song, his son, had a song that became a #1 hit in the country?
Well, he said, son, you know, it doesn't matter to me what you want to do with your life, as long as you do it, give it 100% and love it with all your heart. And he says, and don't grow your hair like those damn Beatles.
You know, it's amazing. Gary's dad, Jerry, had himself, of course, an illustrious career in the entertainment business as far as television and motion pictures. But some of you may or may not know, I remember in 1956 the song Rock-a-Bye Your Baby.
That's right, that's right. My dad actually had a #1 hit on that, and I kid him all the time. I say, when you had your #1 hit, it was on a cylinder.
Now, did you ever think of the two of you, like Frank Sinatra and Nancy Sinatra, did you ever cross your mind, the two of you, of maybe doing a recording together?
No, actually it never did, but you know, I'm still up for it.
Well, I'll tell you, one thing you must commend Gary's dad for the wonderful work he has been doing for muscular dystrophy all these years. Now, out of the songs that you've recorded, I mean, we all say we have our personal favorites. Do you have a favorite out of the long list of hits you had?
Oh, sure, it's got to be This Diamond Ring, because it was our very first attempt. Thank you. And it was the only one that went to #1 in the country. And being inspired by the Beatles to get into rock and roll, This Diamond Ring actually kicked the Beatles out of #1.
Well, you know, You were singing the song before, and it's always a great summertime song, the Save Your Heart for Me. I've always loved that song. Is there any story behind that one?
Yes, as a matter of fact, our producer, Snuff Garrett, said, I'd like you to redo this song. It's called Save Your Heart for Me. I said, what do you mean redo it? He said, well, I tried this one in 1962 with Brian Hyland, and it went nowhere. So I said, well, sure, let me try it out. So we cut Save Your Heart for Me. It went to #2 in the country. It was the second time around. I never knew that Brian did it first. So it went real well for us.
The thing is that recording these songs and having, it's amazing when you look at the Billboard charts, because that's the record industry's musical Bible, really. You equate someone's success by the songs that they've had on Billboard music charts. And to see the songs, especially in 1965, one after another, hit after hit after hit. Again, there are people, there have been performers in this industry, believe it or not, who have had a song that went to #1, and they never had another song that charted. Songs like Get a Job by the Silhouettes and Dominique by the Singing Nun and Alley Oop by the Hollywood Argyles. That song went to #1, and they never had another song that even charted. Now this guy comes along, this Diamond Ring, bingo, goes to #1, and then hit after hit after hit. So all of a sudden they say, hey, this is not a fluke. This is something that this man's for real.
Well, that's true. Right after this Diamond Ring went to #1, we were all excited. We were flipping out. Oh, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. So our producer said, he said, do you realize how many one-hit artists there are out there in the world? We have to concentrate real hard on #2. If you get #2, you could be on your way. So we came up with a tune called Count Me In, and that went to #2 in the country also.
Now, was there any one person that was responsible for doing your picking? Was it Snuff Garrett, or did you have, what kind of a role did you have in choosing your material?
I had no role whatsoever. Snuffy Garrett was coming off of so many, he produced so many great people. In the 50s, he did Johnny and Dorsey Burnett. Then he had Gene McDaniels. Then he had Bobby V. And then myself after Bobby V. So his track record was perfect, and he told me, you gotta give me that. You gotta let me run the whole show. And I said, hey, track record like that, fine, take it.
Well, the thing is, you work with talented people, but still you have to have that fire, as they say, in your belly to be able to get out there and do it. And the amazing thing is, guys like Gary Lewis and the rest of the people that are on the show tonight here for PBS are out here doing what they can to keep this music alive. And I got to tell you, they are for real. And when you see them be able to come out here like tonight and do the show that they did, it's terrific. So, Gary, congratulations. May you rock on forever. We love you. All the best. Gary Lewis and the Playboys, right here.